Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Tuesday Night Flight, brought to you by the Sideline Junkies. I am the boss, BJ. To my this way, we got the big guy, KG. And then over here, we got the Midnight. Am I crossing them up again?
Crossing them up.
Midnight.
It don't matter because I think on the show
Midnight
they'll
Rider.
differently.
Okay, well, we got to figure that out because we've yet to master that part of the show. So, evening, fellas, how y'all feeling?
Good, man. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I can't complain. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, you want to ask me how I'm feeling? Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Feeling real good. Feeling real winning.
Well, I'm glad you are, because I'm definitely not. And I got a lot to say on my Buffalo Bills later. We'll get to that. Where we want to start at? Where we want to start as far as going over these games? Week 9 NFL in the books. Before we go over the games we went over, are there any surprises from NFL week number 9 that kind of took you guys back? Or did kind of everything go as planned?
Surprises. A lot of people have been saying, Dallas played a really, really good game, and Dallas did this and Dallas did that, but you lost. So,
hey, look, my surprise, and I had said something about this guy earlier in the season, is Josh Dobbs not knowing anybody's name, going to the Vikings, helping them win a game. I'm rooting for the guy, man. I hope that, he kind of gets a rebirth like Geno has, and maybe because there's enough teams out there that don't have a QB. But kudos to Josh Dobbs going in there, beating the Falcons 31-28. So shout out to him. Midnight Rider, anything that didn't go according to plan week 9, or is anything surprise you?
The Rams getting beat.
Yeah.
20-3. I didn't think that the Packers had that performance in their system, but then again, I didn't notice that they were starting Brett Rippon. So that put them behind
the Rams were starting Brett Rippon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't know that going into it, and if I did, that might have changed some things. But it gave the Packers a bump, put them back in position to maybe control some of their destiny going down the stretch.
It did. The Giants have confirmed that Daniel Jones has been lost for the season. Tyrod Taylor is already on IR. So I forgot who they is. They're going to
Tommy DeVito,
and who they have a vet too. Who's the vet?
He's your guy, Matt Barkley.
Barkley. So we're gonna have to see how the Giants move and shake going here forward. Before we get into the games, what do y'all think? What do the Giants do with Daniel Jones and all that money? I mean, because it's apparent that it ain't working.
I mean, it's a 2-year deal, essentially written on 4-year paperwork. So starting next year, they can start their plans to get out of it. They may have to go through the season with him, but after that, I think they can walk away without too much being on the books. So I think that's how it plays out. I think you draft your kid this year if you're high enough, and you take the draft pick and bring them along slow.
Big guy, I know you not happy that Daniel Jones is injured, but I know you happy that the Commanders don't have to see him.
Hey,
that boy got a Hall of Fame career against
all the
Washington Commanders.
All the time. I say it all the time. Daniel Jones, if he played his whole career against the Commanders, he would go down better than Tom Brady, better than Joe Montana, better than Dan Marino, better than Johnny Unitas, better than Lynn Dawson. He'd be a Hall of Famer.
All right, fellas. Well, let's get to it.
My
First,
fault.
nah, go ahead.
One thing. No, because I've said this. I don't know how much I've said it on our show, but I've said this the last 2 years. The best job to have is being the man that stands behind or is on the depth chart behind Tyrod Taylor. He will always get hurt for you.
Oh
It
man,
never fails. It never fails. It never fails. I'm
before
gonna
you
tell you
jump,
my. Go ahead.
before
Go
you
ahead.
jump, we got Ross and Paula here. We can't see the names. I don't know what's going on. We can't see the names on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay. We know y'all here. I'm trying to watch on Facebook as well, so I can get to you. And Paul says, I hate them boys as much as anyone, but Michael Parsons was hell. Hey man, it's a part of the game. I watched Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen. I watched Ryan Kerrigan get held for 10 years, so it's part of the game.
Stop your belly aching. Oh my goodness. Stop your belly aching, sir.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, look, we're gonna go to our first game we're gonna review, and this was my surprise. Even though I picked them to win, the Ravens keep rolling and they beat the Seahawks 37-3. If you see me doing a little squint in your head, excuse me, because I do not like the glare that my glasses produce on this computer. So if my phone and AT&T could, I could get you some stats, but it ain't looking like that's happening. I thought the Ravens would beat the Seahawks. Here we go. Just because of the Seahawks, the travel. That travel across country, it's mean. London's proving it. That travel's mean, and it proves itself every time. And I know that coaches that know these games are coming up, they try their best to get their teams over there as early as possible to kind of get, the bodies adjusted and get on the field and play with some normalcy. But Lamar Jackson, 21-26, 187. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but rushing the ball, Keaton Mitchell for the Ravens, 9 for 138 and a touchdown. If you had him in fantasy, you ate. So, are the Ravens doing anything special, gentlemen? Or are they just taking advantage of the situations that presented themselves the last 2 weeks?
If you got him on your fantasy team, I want to know what service you using to get your hits, because there ain't no way. And outside of Kevin Mitchell, who might be Keaton's dad, it's no way you should have had that dude on your team. But I think they're finally just putting it together. I think they're finally starting to get consistent performances from Lamar. They're getting the running game going, and then their defense has just been stellar the last 2 weeks. So I think they're hitting the stride that, if they stay on this pace, it could get real dangerous for teams in the AFC North and the AFC period.
I think Oops said it best right there. That's Kevin Oopaflali. He say Seattle can't stop the run. Gus Edwards had 2 early touchdowns quickly. That was the key. When your running backs are doing things that running backs should be doing, it takes the pressure off Lamar. That's it. Lamar doesn't have to go win. He doesn't have to play hero ball and win the game by himself.
Yeah, and then Seattle couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm rooting for Seattle and Geno, but they definitely got some discrepancies. They're gonna have to tighten up ship.
And Ross say new offense. Lamar looks really comfortable.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
But it also doesn't hurt when you have talent on the outside.
Nah, it doesn't. Not at all. It helps open things up. It helps facilitate things. And you just can't lock down on one thing. We've been chirping at that on this podcast for a long time. And it's not no secret formula. But it is what it is. Let's
Oops
get
says, Baltimore kept the RPO going and found a weak link. No interior D-line for Seattle.
The Russian stats prove that. The proof is in the pudding. So, and like I said, we apologize again. We cannot see, for some reason, the Facebook comments aren't coming up with you guys' names. So we just kind of, KG is piecing it together. So if we got a little lag, we apologize. And we'll keep it moving. Let's get the Chargers and the Jets game out of the way. Did I pick? I picked the Chargers to win. I took the points and I took the over, so I was short on the over. The over was the over under was 39.5, and they didn't cut the mustard. So no surprise for me there. I thought the Chargers. I thought the offense would overtake the Jets defense just because the Jets that have no offense whatsoever. And, you know, it's something we say all the time. That unit has to go back on the field over and over and over again. It's going to break eventually. So no surprise there with the Chargers for me. Midnight Rider, what you got?
Real simple. He got to stop hitching. The kid's got to stop the hitch. Like it looks like he sees it. He doesn't believe it. He hitches. And by the time he releases the football, whatever opening or space he had with that receiver, it's gone. Or they're drifting to the sideline and that ball's getting there that half second too late. He's killing his team with his performance right now. He got to do a Michael Jackson and talk to the man in the mirror, have a real conversation and see what's up. I don't see how Robert Saleh can stick with this dude too much longer. I mean, he just can't get it done. The other guy you have backing him up must be god awful. He must be god awful. Go ahead, KG.
Oh, I was fixing our problem, so I'm fixing our problem. So the Jets were jetting. They messed up a lot of daggone money. I'm gonna tell you that now. They messed up a lot of money because a lot
Money
of people
where?
Money
a lot
on
of people, a lot of people had them rolling, man. They
Oh, nah.
You're the one that picked him. You can't just say that because that's your pick.
You picked the Jets? Did he pick the Jets?
Yep, I was out on the limb.
Okay. Yeah, you that limb, as soon as you stepped on it, broke. You stepped on it, you was like, ah! Immediately. So let me ask y'all this. And serious question. Do you like what Zach Wilson is showing as far as, because I felt like beforehand he didn't care. And I feel like the last couple of weeks he's at least showing that he cares about winning. He cares about football. Maybe he's rededicated himself, but now you got to fix, like the Midnight Rider, now you got to fix the errors that come with his game. Is it too little too late?
I think we're 2 weeks away from it being too little too late. I think they may have to go the same route the Falcons went. The Falcons went and decided to go with Heineke. So something's got to change, man. Something's got to happen.
Yeah, I just felt like he had that deer in the headlights. He got in the league. It wasn't committed to football. And I just think I don't know if it was an Aaron Rodgers effect or whatever it is. It just seemed like you could just tell he's more focused and it's just not translating the field. And, you know, it's got to be frustrating. What you say, big guy?
I think you would say after that, was it Buffalo game that he threw away? He pissed the Buffalo. It wasn't a Buffalo game. I forget what game it was a couple weeks ago. He pissed the game away. He stood on the side he said, I got to be better. That's on me. And he played well the last 2 weeks. But
it was the Chiefs because they almost beat the Chiefs. It was the Chiefs.
And I'm not sure who this is because I had to switch some things over. But we'll be back. Zach Wilson couldn't hit Sam. I like that.
That sounds like a Paul comment.
They should have traded for Dobbs. They should have.
Oh man.
Yeah, and Ross right back with us. Thank you everybody for joining us back. A little technical difficulty. We got it fixed. I figured out what it was. Ross says he cares, but the talent hasn't come out yet. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe it's going to take him getting his head kicked in to get that talent to shine. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's going to take But how many more times can he take a beating before they finally break him?
We're gonna see.
2 weeks.
Midnight Rider say 2 weeks. I think we're gonna get to see the answer to that question.
Well, they break him in 2 weeks. Who comes in? Because Ken O'Brien is not walking through that door. Browning Nagel is not walking through that door. Joe Namath is not walking through that door.
Well, it doesn't matter at this point because you're not getting any kind of play. You're not getting anything productive right now from your quarterback position. It's almost making it hard to evaluate the other players on his team because he's not giving them a chance.
I skipped over a couple
45 McCoy.
Yeah. I skipped over a couple comments, so I apologize. SFN02, he said that Herbert Allen connection is a beauty to watch. Jets couldn't stop it. They needed to. That's all for Twitch. Hope you guys can see that. But I'm at a loss right now because you expect more.
I gotta go, baby.
I didn't expect the Chargers to play the way they do because the Chargers are always charging, but I expected this to be a more competitive game. So this was a shocker in more ways than one.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about this one right here. The Texans 39, the Bucks 37. I was short, but I was right on the yardage. I said both quarterbacks over 300. CJ Stroud had 470. It sounded like an oven setting. 470. Put it on 470 and put on 20 minutes, baby. It'd be good. That's what CJ Stroud had. Baker came in with 265. So I was right on the yardage. I just thought Baker would have 3. Midnight Rider. I'm gonna let you have this because this kid, Houston, they have a good problem.
Tank Dell, baby. Tank Dell and CJ Stroud forming the connection, baby. I just knew he was due. He had gone the last couple of weeks and hadn't picked up any numbers, and then all of a sudden I was like, it's got to be soon. It's got to be in the next couple of weeks. So I think I called for him to get a touchdown. He got 2. And then he helped out my team in fantasy because he got me 32 points. So it was money, man. So he helped out the franchise and everything.
Luckily, he wasn't playing defense because that would have been like 3.5 points.
Right. It might have been -5 because he's a defender. But no, this game was crazy at the end. That last drive to get them in place to score the points, that's clutch gene right there. That's the exact reason why I thought I thought Charlotte or Carolina would have been all over him because he reminds you of a young Roethlisberger, just without the extras on the side. You know what I'm saying? But you know exactly what I'm saying, except those extras. He's gonna be pretty good, and I think that's one of the things. I think Pierce has been battling injury, so that's the other part of that. But as they keep going, this team is going to gel, and they're starting to gel, and they're starting to get wins that you didn't have on their schedule early in the season.
SF and O2 said this Dameon Pierce fall off is a bit of a surprise. Because didn't he run for like 140 yards one week, and then the next week he ran for 2?
He was the last year he was their rookie that came out of nowhere and basically was their offense. And this year it's been a struggle, but they've been bouncing back between him and Devin Singletary.
And Paul says we don't talk about Midgeville.
What's Midgeville?
We need some explanation on that one.
Hey, Paul, you had to tell us what Midgeville is so we can talk about it.
We don't. It's like Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. No. So Midgeville is like Bruno. We don't talk about it.
Ah man. Next game on the slate. We touched on it a little bit, but let's go ahead and go to this NFC East slobber knocker right here. If you're a Cowboys fan, are you almost there? I mean, or is this just one of those games that you got up for because it's the Eagles and it's probably the game of the week? Is that what the Cowboys just did, or are we going to see Dak roll out and ball out from now on, or is it just going to be the same old Cowboys?
We got the definition or the thing about Midgeville. Midgeville is the place that, we don't talk about Midgeville.
Yeah, we got you, Paul. We got you.
I got you. We don't talk about Midgeville.
Yeah, I'm asking this to two Commanders fans. I want y'all to take y'all Commanders hats and socks off for a second. And I picked the Eagles to win. I picked the over, and I took the points, of course, with the Eagles. So I would have won if I betted that one. But if you're a Cowboys fan, seriously, is this where you take that big step and you're like, all right, we almost got the Eagles? Or is this the Cowboys where Micah Parsons, after they got trounced by the 49ers, say we're as good as them? Which Cowboys team will we see for the rest of the season?
I think for them it doesn't matter. As long as they can win the ones they're supposed to win, they'll get themselves a chance. And then they get it in the dance. But other than that, that's really all they got to do is just handle their business in the games they're supposed to win. Do I think Dak is this elite quarterback? No. I think he's in that range of somewhere between 12 and 18, depending on how you rank your QBs. And I think he just struggles in certain situations. I mean, that stepping out of bounds on that 2-point conversion can't really happen. That throwing short on that fourth down, I mean, that's your only shot. Like, you got to make sure he's in. And maybe that's on the tight end because he didn't take the route deep enough into the end zone. But, that's got to be points. And the worst case scenario is incomplete because you chasing points. And for some reason, that just didn't happen.
Go ahead, Big Cat. Pull them comments up. Go ahead.
My man Keith Franzi says Dak's football IQ is the main issue. Philly is the luckiest team in the league. There's nothing impressive about them. They have the referees in their back pocket. Let's call a spade, baby. Let's call it. Call a spade a spade. SFN02 says Tony Pollard rushing yards last 5 weeks, 51, 53, 30, 29, and 47. Inexcusable. I agree wholeheartedly. It's the same thing when Zeke was there. Zeke needed to touch the ball 20 to 25 times in any capacity, and the Cowboys would win. It was proven. They didn't do it. Tony Pollard has to touch the ball, but like the Midnight Rider say, he's a little light in the ass to be inside the red zone, but still, split him out, let him catch something, go get you a power back, something. I don't know, but still. SFN and O2 says also, Pollard can produce and take weight off the passing game. Yes, he can. I got him in fantasy. So, yeah, I'm really all for him getting more carries and more yards. Ross says he's the second coming of Romo. I don't know how to feel about this.
This is a big statement right here. If Romo had this current Dallas defense, Dallas gets at least 2 rings.
I think I can agree with that. A healthy Dallas defense, because you got arguably one of the best defensive players on your team that impacts the game. And that is MPP, the Micah Parsons problem. The dude impacts the game. And I'm saying this as a football fan. The dude is nasty. He is vicious, man.
What happened to DeMarcus Ware? DeMarcus Ware.
He wasn't impactful. He wasn't as impactful as Parsons. He was good, but he wasn't as impactful. Parsons impacts the game.
Wow. Man just put on the gold jacket, but he wasn't impactful?
He got that gold jacket from winning Super Bowl 50 in Denver. That's what got him that gold jacket.
Pen.
Paul says Philly is one of the toughest teams in the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's their identity. Ross says Paul facts. I think I'm already dying here. SFN and 02 says don't die on this hill. I'm already dead on this hill. I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction, baby. I'm not gonna do it. That's all it is. I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction. But Micah Parsons is a dog. I'll give you that. Now, here's the problem with Dallas. Dare I say it? It's coaching. I think everything they do during the week, it dissipates on Sunday. Because they come out, they look lost. You know you need 6. Why run a route that's short of the goal line? Thinking that you can run it in when they're sitting there protecting the goal line. Why run a route like that? Everybody says, well, I think it was Dalton Schultz when he caught the pass that was short. Oh, that was a touchdown. His feet was in the end zone. Ball has to break the plane. That plane goes all the way around the world. He could have been somewhere in Kazakhstan. And if that plane was lined up where he held that ball out, it's a touchdown. But unfortunately, it did not.
Brian quiet.
So,
Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
He can be with, hey, Junior.
What's up, buddy?
Everybody said hi, okay?
Okay.
All right.
It could be Abu Dhabi for all I care. But next up.
Okay. I need a minute. Buffalo Bills go into the jungle in Cincinnati, and they drop to the Bengals 24-17. Let me start with this. Joe Burrow, 31 of 44, 345. 2 touchdowns and a sack. I just want to give you the last couple of weeks, the Bills' passing defense. Baker, 25 of 42, 233, 2 touchdowns. They made Mac Jones look like the second coming of Tom Brady in this game in week 7. He was 25 of 30, 272, and 2 touchdowns. Even Tyrod Taylor had 200 yards passing. And then the game in England, Trevor Lawrence carved them up all game, 25 of 37, 315, and a touchdown. Man, this team right now for me is a car that went to the racetrack and they got off the line good. Well, not as good because they dropped to the Jets. They got off the line and they have the power to beat the car, but they missed the gear. They missed the gear, and this race is lost with this team. This race is lost with this team. Brandon Beane has to figure out what actions they're going to take because it's hard to argue with people that take Josh Allen for what he is. And right now, he's just not producing. The team is not producing. I'm not going to put it all on him. But the offensive coordinator needs to go. And I think it's also time for a look at Sean McDermott exiting the building also because I think he's gotten his team as far as he can get them. And I want to give him his flowers and his credit because his team was in purgatory. This team was a laughingstock for the last 20 years. And, for the last 3 or 4 years, they've been a relevant top 10 team in the league. They just cannot get past. They can't beat. They're beating themselves. They can't beat themselves. The Josh Allen taunting penalty. You finally get to see Dalton Kincaid. I think he had 11 targets, 10 receptions. He fumbles the ball. They continuously shoot themselves in the foot. I'm officially off of the Gabe Davis train. They have to find a second wide receiver. coming this offseason. They have to go somewhere, either whether that's elevating Shakir to see what he can do. But something has to happen. Gabe isn't it. And it is what it is. You have these bums. Let me name these bums for you in the secondary. Christian Benford, Dane Jackson, Saron Neal, and Cam Lewis. For me, their scouting report when they came out in the draft said free agency. There wasn't a draft round on these guys. And they play like it. They are no playmakers in this secondary. They got Rasul Butler from Green Bay to help out a little bit. There's nobody in this secondary that can make a play. They make plays off of tips and very errant thrown passes where like a receiver ran the complete round route. They're not jumping and making plays. All right, this right here, it's just bums. This is that New York Yankees trash truck we saw. They're running this. They got somebody in the passenger in the front seat, and they got two people in the back. They're running this truck. And they're leaving trash behind. They're not even picking up the damn trash. They're running a trash truck up and down the city, smiling and waving. Von Miller has been non-existent. And then I think it's also time to move on from Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. They've been absolutely quiet. They're supposed to be two of the top 10 safeties in the league when it comes to them two. Not a peep. You would have thought that they could have held it down a little bit more than what they were doing, but it's just not it. Now, am I hitting the panic button on Buffalo? I'm not. They're a game behind Miami. And, they still got time to turn things around. I'm going to throw you some more stats. The Bills are failing defense, 17th in total defense, 14th in passing defense, 18th in rushing defense, and 23rd in third down defense. You see it on the field. These numbers a couple weeks ago, I think all of them were in the top 10 or close to it. And you're starting to see, I've said this the last couple of years, because you played the Jets twice before Tyreek Hill came to Miami. You played Miami twice. You're not playing no top-tier offenses. So your defense on paper looks good. Look, number 9 total defense. All right, you're not playing nobody. Zach Wilson is throwing you the ball here. Tua sometimes throws with it. It looks like he's throwing with his helmet backwards. So, and then you got Mac Jones in New England. You're playing 6 teams that might not even have 1,000 yards passing on you total. So your defense is going to look spectacular against, these little buffer games. But they're getting exposed, and you're getting exposed, and you have a defensive-minded coach. And I was drinking the Kool-Aid that Miami game because I thought, and I still think that was one of Sean McDermott's best coach games. That game plan he had against Miami to shut Miami down when they came off that 70-point run. I thought that was I think that was masterful. I really did. I was really impressed with what they did. But Brandon Beane got to figure some things out, because this team right here might sneak into the wild card, and then they're going to get that fat ass roach that crawls across the floor. You got your Timbs on. That's how they're going to get squashed. They go into Cincinnati. They go into Baltimore. They go into Kansas City. Pittsburgh might beat them. Who else? Who am I missing out of the AFC that's in the playoffs right now? Oh, the Dolphins. The Dolphins. I don't think they're going to beat the Dolphins in the playoffs. I don't think, not with that secondary. It's not going to happen. And then Elam. Before I let Elam, the cornerback they drafted. Now he has an ankle problem. This kid has been a healthy scratch a couple times. This is a first-round draft pick, and it was rumors that he was going to get traded because he didn't fit the system. The 4 cornerbacks I named don't fit the damn system or any system. So this is a lost team right now. This is the team that, if they do make the playoffs, this is going to be all Josh Allen and Steph Diggs. This is going to be Dalton Kincaid coming to his own and starting to split the field open, and then maybe somewhere down the line, You see Gabe Davis catch a pass because they have to cover the other two people now. He's absolutely almost worthless. He's almost worthless on the field, just running around, collecting a game check. So, big guy KG, I see we got comments, man. Let's go to the comments.
All right, backtracking back to the Cowboy game. He says, piss poor play calling also that fourth down. Why not your best receiver Lamb or Ferguson, who was owning Philly? Coming to this game, Ross says, B, I thought the Bills would win. SFN 02 says, I hate to say it, but the Bills are pretenders. Highlight team that can't beat the top dogs. And that's rough on me because that's my pick to win the Super Bowl. So Keith also says
it's not surprising. I picked the Bengals
to win. The Bengals.
Yeah, I picked the Bengals. I'd said the Bengals are coming up at the wrong time, and the Bills have been struggling. And the crazy thing is, it's the same things they've been struggling with the last couple seasons. And you kind of see how important Brian Daboll. There you go. I didn't even look down the screen. You see how important Brian Daboll was to this offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nothing in this offense that screams variety. That screams, we got your ass. It doesn't scream that. We saw something. We've seen the Commanders go somewhere. When they play Philly, like we saw something on y'all asses. We got y'all. We got y'all. They made a couple mistakes, but we've seen teams have that moment with other teams. Be like, hey, we got y'all ass. We saw something on film. We're gonna tear that ass up. Buffalo just comes out and like, we're just gonna have Josh Allen run to the right and throw it, and hopefully he can tiptoe and make and Stephon Diggs can make a great catch. You can't play that shit every game. The Giants, I thought if the Giants had a little bit of offense, they would have beat Buffalo because they were blitzing Josh Allen ass into the ground. They had that under control. So I'm gonna shut up. Let me shut up.
Ross says Keith, he hasn't been the same since Dable left. SFN 02, Rasul Douglas trade was an underrated move. He's a locker room presence and clutch. And Keith says Ross, exactly. Ross comes back and he says Miami looks a little fraudulent.
They do. Yeah. I mean, they haven't beat a big dog. When they play the big dogs, the real big dogs, they turn into chihuahuas. And I just think that they're still probably in the best position to win this division. You know, but they're healthy. I think that for the most part they're healthy. They just got Jalen Ramsey back, right? So you know that's going to be an upgrade. I mean, he's not the Jalen Ramsey of a couple of years ago, but he's still Jalen Ramsey. And I do agree with the Butler trade. I think the Butler trade helps the Bills secondary, but to what extent? And if you got this strong chain and you come to 4 rusty links, it's going to snap. The other chain gonna look pretty hanging there dangling, and the other links are gonna be on the ground, you know. And that's the Bills secondary, man.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, Miami's in a good spot. They get their bye this week. After the bye, you get the Raiders, Jets, Commanders, Titans, Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills. They come out of that 5-3 somehow, some way. 6-2, they in the mix. And it doesn't matter where they get it. You just gotta get the W's, the wins. I mean, this is a good time for the bye. Maybe you can get. I think if they can get Devin A-Chain, the kid that was running through everybody early in the season, if they can get him back, and he's healthy and he's who he was early on in the season, I think that's a dynamic that's going to change the whole formula for them because he's a difference maker. And I think the other thing is, I think everybody's a little hip to the Miami offense. They have a certain route combination that they throw a lot. It's like a skinny post combination they run, but they run it out of every set. So if you can kind of take that first read away, and this is the book that I've heard on a lot of shows, if you take the first read away from Tua, he starts to struggle. and that's not groundbreaking material, but that's important because that's a thing. So if you can take that first look away, then something else, he struggles to get to everything else. And I think that's what's made Miami look human. And I think that's something you got to pick up this week in self-scouting to make yourself better. To the Buffalo-Cincinnati game, I just think, honestly, I think Cincinnati is just in their pocket right now. I think when it comes to like October, November football, Cincinnati's probably one of the best teams the last 2 years in the league. You know, he probably had one of the best records going down the stretch of the season. And for some reason, they just don't do September well. And once they get out of September, everything turns and they start clicking. And that's exactly what I think happened this week. They just in their hot streak.
What you say, big guy?
I'm reading a comment that was up on the screen. SFN02 said, I think Miami learns from this. Got to get slapped in the face to bring you down to earth. Man, Miami's not they're not world beaters. Miami reminds me of, you ever seen that video of the dogs barking teeth and everything, and then they open the gate and then they all pussyfied? That's what Miami is. They're cool when the gates close. They can bark, growl, all of that, snarl, all of that. But as soon as you open the gate, they little teddy bears. Come on, roll over. Let me rub your stomach. Come on, little buddy. Yeah, who's a good boy? Who's the good boy? That's what they are.
I had that happen one time. Like I was selling home security systems, and this guy's dog was like all at the door, barking. He's like, let me smell your hand. So he smelled my hand, and then the rest of the trip, I was there. He never barked. The Joker was sitting there beside me and kept trying to take his paw to grab my hand to make me pet him. So like, I was like, yeah, what happened? And that's exactly what you think saying Miami is. I got you.
Next up.
Oh, Washington Commanders.
Can I do it?
Absolutely.
Can I do
Go
it?
ahead.
I want to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I thought we were
Had the
past
whole crowd screaming out, "We want Tyler." Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders.
Yeah.
Commanders.
I love it.
We fight for
I love it.
RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Commanders. Left
I love
hand
it.
up. Who
I love
are
it.
we? Burgundy and gold. We rock us. Had the whole crowd screaming out, "We want Tyler." Those haters can't
I'm done.
stand us. Left hand up. Who are we?
No,
It don't sound
I don't
like
want us
it.
to be charged for this.
It don't sound
I
like
just don't want us to get charged. You know, I think like after 20 seconds or something, you got to pay the FCC or something. I don't want.
Well, I'm done because if I gotta pay, I'll hand DJ Woody, old goody, his money up front in his hand. So that's good. I'm good with that.
Washington's Commanders goes into New England and they beat the Patriots 2017. First time they won in Foxborough since 1996.
Yeah, it is.
1996. Gentlemen, I was too busy drooling over some other games, so I didn't get a chance to watch this one. So I'm gonna let y'all dig into this. I just want to hear the highs, the normal stuff, the highs and the lows, and was it closer than what it should have been?
Yeah, I think the Commanders got out early, 10-0. They were starting to drive. Robinson fumbles, and New England takes that fumble, turns it into 7 points. And then after that, they come back and have another drive that gives them another 7 points. They go up 14-10. Washington starts moving the ball again. I think this is like the 2-minute situation, which they fumbled the way you handle 2 minutes. They rushed their last 25 seconds, and Sam throws a terrible interception. But then they come back and they right their wrongs. It's the one thing I loved about this kid is every time you think he's made a mistake that's detrimental to the team. He's responded the next drive or the next time he gets a chance, takes him down the field, gets 7. They score another 7 later on. I'm sorry, another field goal later on to make it 20-17. And then you get a big play from Juju Smith-Schuster dropping the ball basically into the hands of the safety. And that's how we walk away with the ball game 20-17. What I like is Sam always responds. He always gives you that big drive. I don't remember us. Either we've been blown out or he goes down and gets us points. That's the way it seems lately. Outside that Philly game with that one bad interception, but even still, he was driving again, got points, made it 38-31, and then, you just ran out of time. And I think that's the one thing I like about this kid is if this team believed in Alex Smith, there's no way this team can't believe in Sam Howell for keeping them in position, making them feel like they can win ball games. Go ahead, KJ.
2 comments real quick. Keith said, don't be surprised to see McDaniels as Buffalo's OC next year.
Nah.
That look. Either he hit the wrong button or he's just like, fuck it, I'm gone. Ross says, Howard's got a short memory. A mistake doesn't change the way he plays. Not saying that he's as good, but you know who that reminds me of? Johnny Unitas played like that. Johnny Unitas' demeanor never changed. He could throw 3 interceptions or 3 touchdowns. Demeanor never changed. I love that about quarterbacks. I love that. Howell played pretty well, 29 of 45, 325, a touchdown and a pick. But the team ran the ball. What's that? 39 times? What's that? Hold on. 6 plus 18, 24, 29 times. I'm sorry. Brian Robinson took the bulk of the load. 18 for 63, 3.5 yards per carry and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson, 6 carries for 34 yards, 5.7. And then Sam Howell had that beautiful run for a first down. What was it 24 yards on a 3rd and 23?
Yes.
The dude does not give up. He's not a graceful runner like a RG3 or Randall Cunningham or anything like that. He's more of a in the style of Fran Tarkenton, where he knows how to get out of trouble sometimes. Sometimes he gets himself in trouble, but that's young and inexperienced. When he gets that experience, I'm telling you, he is going to be dangerous when his legs get to moving. But people keep asking the question, do we have a franchise QB? Oh, we don't want to answer that question yet. I don't give a damn. We got a franchise QB. Man, we got a quarterback, y'all. We got a quarterback. Some of the throws that he makes, I listened to the game on the radio, and I had to suffer through Brian Weinstein and company. It was good in the second half, but in the first half, it was kind of suffering. I love London Fletcher. Let me just say that. And I would love to hear him, Cooley, and somebody else doing play-by-play next season. But maybe even Julie Donaldson doing play-by-play. I don't know. Her voice is soothing. But they were talking about some of the throws that Sam made, and he was fitting the ball in the tight windows. That right there, he's a responsible gunslinger, if that makes sense. He'll try to fit it in there. He believes he can do it, and he'll get it done. I think this is a good win. But this is more lucky than good, because this game should have been over in the first half. They should have won this game at least 27-7. This should have been over. But this is more lucky than good. But I'll take a W. I'll walk out and take a W. So,
what's on the slate for the Commanders next week?
The Commanders next week is this not the bye week? Hold on.
No.
We got
this week is Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah, we go to Seattle.
Go to Seattle. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Seattle, then the Giants after that, and then we got a short week that week. The week of the 19th, short week. We got the Giants on Sunday, and then the Cowboys in Dallas on Thursday. And I think
Okay.
this if it makes sense, they win that. If they can win the Seattle game and the Giants game, if they can win those, when they go to Dallas on Thanksgiving, that's going to be the litmus test of what you get for the rest of the season. If they go to Dallas and lay an 8, pack it up and let's go home. But if they go to Dallas and they're competitive, yeah. Ross says, I still thought there were too many 5 to 7 drops still. Yeah, I agree with that. Too many. He also says, did you see Chris Rodriguez tackle on special teams? And unfortunately, Bram is trash. Never been a real big Bram Weinstein guy.
He was great when he was, doing the updates and stuff. He was, informative, but everybody don't translate to play-by-play.
His show wasn't bad. When they gave him a show the first time around, this is a couple years ago, his show wasn't bad. It was listenable.
He still has a show.
Really? I thought they took him off.
Yeah, it's him. He's there. It's so like 6:30, whatever that is now. I think it's like ESPN radio.
Yeah,
AM?
ESPN 6:30. Yeah.
6:30 a.m. Is that when the show comes on?
Yeah, 6:30 a.m.
The station. Is that the time or that's the station?
That's the station.
Okay, 6:30. That's ESPN. That's where Andy is.
Yeah, so I think they have they have Retread Radio. They have Andy, they have Tony, they got Bram, and then somebody else over there.
I think Lavero's over there too. I know he comes through every once in a while.
Yeah, that's definitely Retread Radio then. But
Hey. What they need to do if they smart, put Sheehan and Lavero back together. If you don't put Sheehan and Lavero back together, put Sheehan and Walker back together. That is fucking great radio. That is awesome radio.
why would you do what works?
Well, if you did work, you
Why?
would have never changed the lineup before. But
Yeah, why would
and
you do
Ross
what
said,
works?
hell, if you wanted to do what's work, you put the sports.
Who putting you to
back.
sleep? Who putting you to sleep, Midnight Rider?
Sheehan.
Oh my lord!
Anybody with Sheehan. I don't even turn. This is how much I dislike Sheehan. I don't even turn the station to listen to Chris Russell until like 105. Because I figure by that time he's done talking. Like he can't end this show on time. Like you got a producer. Like the show ends at 12:59. You can't go into the 1 o'clock hour.
Bro, you
Wow,
never. So that means you never listened
105.
to Inside the Locker Room with Doc and Sheehan.
I
You
listened
never-
to it, but no, that was good.
That was. Then when they moved Doc with Coach, I was like, man, this is the greatest. You had Doc, you had Tony Kornheiser from 10 to 12, which was great because you had David Aldridge and everybody. That was great. That's where I got all my politics and stuff from. Then you had Lavero and Sheehan from 12 to 2, Coach Thompson 2 to 4, and then the sports reporters from 4 to 7. That was my whole day.
I felt sorry for your day.
My days were great. B can tell you, I was on every show. I used to call in and be on every show, man. I was on, except for Kornheiser. Kornheiser didn't take calls.
He let a couple Sam Jacksons go too.
I did.
Oh man.
That was Scott Jackson and that's another one I love. I love Scott Jackson. Scott Jackson and Doc Walker. No, that was Scott Jackson and B Mitch. When they were doing their show and they had the S Talking every Thursday. I won that 5 times in a row.
I'll take B Mitch and Finley, like we have it. I'll take Chris Russell. I'll take Grant and Danny. I'll take Hoffman sometimes. But I can see if somebody doesn't like Hoffman. And then, yeah.
B Mitch and Doc.
No, you can't have those two together. You can't.
That is
That's just all games.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
all platitudes and
That's Diesel.
yeah, it's all
That's
platitudes.
Diesel.
Punch him in the mouth. Let's go. We the heroes.
That's the tractor trailer losing his brakes and there's no emergency ramp.
Oh my
Right.
God,
It's
I
just,
love
it's
it.
just going down the mountain.
Because the reason why I say that, because like with B. Mitch and Finlay, they're natural. Everything about their show is just natural. Doc and B. Mitch was like that. Everything is just natural. It flows.
Yeah, every now and then I get a shout out since we talking about our radio shout outs. I get a shout out from B. Mitch and Finley. Every now and then I get one from Chris Russell. So yeah, it's all good.
Tell them we need them on the show. Tell them immediately.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah.
We need them on the show.
I think Chris will give us some time.
I've been following Chris Russell for years. I remember when he used to do updates, but then when they finally gave him the run, I was like, it's on. Because his energy is just something different, man. I love Chris Russell. When he left 980 the first time, I was so pissed. But then when he showed up on 1067, I was like, I'm back. I'm with him. I'll listen to 1067 now.
All right, real quick, fellas, try and get us back on track. Just real quick tidbit. The Cardinals are activating Kyler Murray. Is that y'all ready? Put on y'all red now? We going to
No.
playoffs?
No.
Playoffs?
Well, that's bad timing. Didn't the new Call of Duty just drop?
Ooh, man. Ooh,
I don't know if he in his playbook. He got to check the tablet. Check the tablet, see what it's.
I about to say, yeah, check the tablet, see what. But now he just probably let it run.
Right.
Quick, we're gonna tweak this, but we got the power rankings from Bleacher Report this time, and we looked at some other ones. There's some discrepancies for this is kind of is what it is. Tell us what y'all think in the comments. They got the Eagles number 1, Kansas City 2, Baltimore 3, the Jags 4, and the Bengals 5. Gentlemen, where would you subtract or add from that top 5 list?
Take the Bengals off. Put the Lions on. Lions should be 5th.
I think I would swap KC on Baltimore right now.
Ooh.
I think I would put Baltimore 2 and KC 3.
I'm not mad at that because I think the last 2 performances by KC have been subpar.
Yes.
And they haven't figured out that other receiver. Now, we saw some flashes from Sky Moore this weekend, but nothing consistent. So that's going to be a key to watch is what other receiver not named Travis Kelce dating, what's her name, Taylor Swift, are we going to get?
We're killing them on that, but they're still winning. They're still finding ways to win. I just wish Buffalo would find a way to win. Paul said Bleacher Report is lazy journalism on steroids.
They're big. They're clickbaitish for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to take what information there. That's why I said this is subject to definitely change. Just for tonight, that's what we're using, and we might rotate it just to stir up the pot and see who has what where. Where are we going now? We're going to. Are we finishing out with the college football top 6?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that real quick. I mean, I don't know if KG got anything else.
No, I'm good. Ross said, damn it, I lost his comment.
He said,
and put the lines in behind Cincinnati.
Oh, so that means he's moving Cincinnati to 4 and making the lines 5? Ross, answer that question for me. So is your 4 and 5 Cincinnati Lions? Give me a comment on that. There we go. Yep, yeah, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
And yeah, we do miss Pete because Pete was always consistent. But I know Pete's been getting a lot of airtime. When we talk about Pete, we talk about Pete Metters. I know he's been getting a lot of burn up in Baltimore on some of their stations and even some of the regular stations. Like I think he was on 1260 the other day. Maybe that wasn't 1260 he was on. Maybe that was a clip he was doing. But I know he's been on some of the Baltimore stations more so lately than anything else. and I think he has a gig as a Baltimore game day, maybe a sideline reporter or something like that. Ross can correct me on that, but I know it's something like that with the Ravens.
Cool. Well, we're gonna start reaching out. We need some of these people on the show to talk some sports. So let's go to college playoff top 6. I wish we had a voice thing so I could do the echo. College football top 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. You know, and bring it in strong.
Then he go.
You know what you need? One of the mics with all the features on. Let's see if we can find one of those when we finish.
The jump we had when we had kids, you had the different button for the different voices. Oh man, what if I had saved that? I had one.
It'd be worth money by now.
It probably would. Midnight Rider, take it away. College football top 6.
So, really much didn't change. I mean, the debates are getting better, but after that, it's really been kind of status quo for a little bit here. You got Oregon at number 6. You have Washington, number 5. Washington's the team that gave Oregon this one loss. At number 4, you have Florida State. At 3, you have Michigan. And let's go back to Florida State. Florida State didn't have a great performance last weekend. I think they played Pitt, and Pitt should have never been in that ball game. At number 2, we got Georgia. At number 1, we have Ohio State. And the funny part about the Georgia argument is really Georgia doesn't start playing people until these next couple. They played a couple people, but their season picks up these next couple weeks. I think Oregon has gone through most of its landmines. So the only problem for Oregon is Colorado is falling off. There was somebody else. Washington State fell off. So they have 2 wins against teams that have kind of fallen back to the pack. Notre Dame losing hurts Ohio State a little bit because Notre Dame's now like at 20. So it's not as much of a quality win as it would normally be. So it's going to be interesting, the conversations they have as we get down the stretch in some of these, I like to call them elimination games. You know, you get Ohio State, Michigan. You get some of these conference tournament games or conference playoff games. And we want to see after the dust settles what comes out of that. Because that's going to be really important, the way this goes the rest of the way.
10-4, you got anything to add on that, big guy?
Nah, man, because I don't have a dog in the fight. But I'm surprised that Michigan is so low. That's the only thing that I'm surprised at. But
Michigan is a victim of their schedule.
You talking about you don't have a dog in the fight. I don't have a blade of grass for the dogs to fight on.
Yeah.
Shit. So not a blade, not a piece, nothing, not an ant. So you know, at least you're somewhere near it. You know, you can look and see it. So staying with college football, the list.
What? Oh, you just made the list. Let's go, everybody. It's your favorite Tuesday segment. Let's start off at number 5. Number 5. It's a guy that's been on the list the last couple of weeks. I call him the craziest man, the stunt man of college football. He plays at LSU. It's Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels. You have made the list at number 4. I'm sorry. This didn't touch me well. I didn't like what I saw. But Caleb Williams running to his mom, crying in the stands. I don't know if that's true leadership. I don't know if I can depend on that on Sundays because grown men aren't going to accept this dude running to mommy crying. So Caleb Williams at number 4, you have made the list. At number 3, a man who's been let down by his offensive line the whole season. If he had any kind of blocking, he'd probably be number 2 or number 1 on this list like he's been before. But Shedeur Sanders, you have made the list. At number 2, Paul Cordova. Go ahead and call me up. Go ahead and pat me on the back. I've been watching Florida State. I've seen the kid play. you've been bugging me all year to get him on the list. Jordan Travis has made the list. And at number 1, BPE. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to run the joke out, but it's Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. Sir, you have made the list. So, to run that back, at number 1, Michael Penix Jr., University of Washington. At number 2, in a surprising jump, Jordan Travis, Florida State. At number 3, Shedeur Sanders, Colorado. At number 4, Caleb Williams from U.S. Crimea River. And number 5 is Jaden Daniels from LSU.
And that is the list, ladies and gentlemen. That is the list.
I need to say this before we get out of here.
Crimea River.
Crimey.
Mommy.
I'm gonna say this. Come on, y'all gotta lay off, man. Y'all gotta lay off. Like, it's plenty of quarterbacks. He showed emotion. It's plenty of quarterbacks that have cried after heartbreaking losses. I remember a certain quarterback.
My grandmama gave me that chain.
I remember a certain quarterback that cried after a pretty terrible performance.
Ooh.
But he came out and almost led his team to the state championship. If you've never seen Friday Night Lights and Mike Winchell, you missed the treat. So,
but here's the difference, and this is the reason I didn't like the scene, is because he did it. He should have gotten in the locker room and had his moment. That was the thing for me. And as a pro, as an athlete, as a professional, you don't mind a guy taking a loss hard, being disappointed, feeling dejected. But what I feel like is happening is it's becoming his calling card, and it's becoming a distraction. Because he doesn't go to the side somewhere to do it. He does it very publicly, as if it's a cry for attention. And then he was in an interview, and his post-game interview was, "I want to go home and lay with my dogs." What?
Yeah,
What?
I heard that. Yeah, I heard
Like,
that.
oh, come on, man. I mean, I understand you like your pets. You know what I'm saying? In the words of Bob Barker, don't forget to spay and neuter your pets. But god dang, dog, you can't just be out here like, no, that doesn't, like, it seemed very childish. And I don't want to bash this or make this like a thing. But for me, the more and more I watched it in an NFL locker room, that's not going to play well. That's not going to work well. And that's also a maturity thing. I think the kid's 20. So I'm not like trying to knock him as a player, but what I think he needs to do is he needs to think about his image and what he's portraying, because your teammates aren't going to walk with you if you're showing this kind of like you're showing the emotion and you're doing it publicly, because then they're going to feel like you're trying to show them up. Like, what happens in Chicago next year, or what happens in Atlanta next year, or wherever he goes, Arizona, and they're on a 4-game losing streak? Does he cry each week? 4 weeks in a row? They're
Paul
gonna
says
put a binky in a
warm baba.
in his locker. He keeps doing this.
Paul says, as an owner, do you want to sign a contract that gives him partial stake in the team?
He can't even do that. So it's against the league rules. So like he's not even getting that contract.
Here's the thing. We can't. Do I really want to go? Fuck it, let's do it. We can't say that men need to be more vulnerable and we need to show our emotions more. And then when you show your emotions after a tough loss, you getting clown. Come on, y'all. Really?
Yeah, because it's ain't therapy. It's a football game. There's no crying in football.
That's therapeutic for some people.
No. So dog, don't get me wrong. It's not the crying and emotional part. I get. It's the fact that he does it. It's always on camera. it's always in plain sight. Like it's almost like he's trying to do this to make it seem like he cares more about the game than he does. He cares about the money. He told you that. He won't go to the NFL next year because he can get paid more to stay at USC.
Yeah.
Giving me bad
this.
vibes already. That's the
Think
part
about
that's
this.
scaring me. He's a
Think about this.
generational talent. Hold on. He's a generational talent. He's arm strength, arm talent. He's great. He still shows me, and when we get to the preseason or the pre-draft part, he's going to be like 3 or 4 on my list because he still shows me he's a guy that doesn't get the football out on time, and that bothers me.
You ever think that he's preparing for a career after football?
That's fine.
Career on stage.
That's fine.
Try the drop of a hat.
Hey, I hope so.
It could
Like
be.
Denzel. Equalizer 14. Starring
make a
Denzel and
great-
Caleb Williams.
Great Notre Dame quarterback.
Can
I
we
miss-
wrap
would you
this
say-
up?
I said he would make a great Notre Dame quarterback.
At least we got quarterbacks that won the Heisman Trophy. When the last time Maryland had a quarterback to win the Heisman Trophy?
Never, ever, never.
How many Heisman trophies does Maryland have? Because we have the most in college football history. So you want to talk? I mean, come on. Let's bring out the stats. How many national championships you got, huh? How many undefeated seasons, huh? How many Hall of Famers, huh?
We got the ones we watched on TV. Man, we put the ones we watched on TV in that case. You're gonna blow y'all out the water.
Not really.
All right, so you calm down, all right, because we watch more than what y'all participated in. Y'all be careful, okay? You know what I'm saying? Look.
Okay, 90, 91, 92, all the way up to 93. We got robbed every year, but it's okay. Come on, man. Let's wrap this shit up. We gotta go. Gotta go home.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's go home. Midnight Rider came through with something. He said the Nats are using a 40-man roster spot on Strasburg. Help me out with that.
I think this is all part of them trying to be cheapskates and get themselves out of this deal as much as they can. They had promised the man that they was going to pay him his remaining, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, nah, we didn't say that. So what they have to do is, I think this is more just of a dotting I's and crossing T's type of measure. He has to be on the 40-man roster at least until spring training, I think. I think that he has to do some workouts and stuff like that. So it's going to be what's the word I'm looking for? This is more systematic than it is being prudent or anything like that. They're just doing something they have to do to keep them on the books. And then when they go to sign somebody, they're going to have to make moves, and he's probably going to have to be one of the people that get moved or get let go. So they're going to have to make a decision on this contract and what they're going to do. I think they're just buying themselves some time, to be honest with you, brother. He doesn't warrant a roster spot. I mean, you're wasting your time with it. You know the kid can't pitch anymore. Pony up, do what you got to do. Do what's right by the guy. The guy got you a ring. In 2012, you allowed him to become the butt of jokes by not playing him down the stretch in 2012. I mean, you should have massaged and worked that deal better. So when he came down to his innings limit, he would have had innings left in the playoffs. But because you weren't thinking ahead or you were just stuck on the plans you had, you didn't do that. And I think that cost you a little bit in 2012.
Very well said. Couldn't say it better. So, gentlemen, any final thoughts? Big guy, you got anything before we get out of here?
I'll say this. If you haven't heard yet, Clear Productions, TV and radio network. If you missed the live shows, you can go back and watch them on Facebook, or you can just wait for us to show up. And the WrestleManiacs was tonight at 7 p.m. It was great to see that reaction to Crown Jewel. That was great to see. All In Sports with Lee Ice and Us Three, the Sideline Junkies, was aired tonight as well. Man, this is beautiful. And then we still have, if you on the go, you can't sit down and watch. Whatever you stream music on, you can find us on it, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. We are there. So there's
YouTube.
no excuse. Oh, YouTube as well. I forgot people do listen to YouTube and not watch. There is no excuse why you're not listening to the Sideline Junkies, because not only are we on 22 platforms just for streaming, you can watch these beautiful faces, baby, because pretty like me. You know, you can see that on any screen. So,
And
You
I'm gonna
got the head
post
start.
I'm gonna post the All In Sports Show in the Sideline Junkies chat Facebook page. I'm gonna post it there probably like right around 9 o'clock. So if people want to watch, they can see it there.
All right, 10-4.
definitely.
I don't have anything. I let loose on my Buffalo Bills. I don't know how long of a rant that was, but we will see y'all Thursday. Quick Thursday show. Talk about Thursday night football, what's going on, any new news in the NFL. Make sure y'all join us and look for the links from Midnight Rider posts and the Sideline Junkies group so you can see us all on TV and everything. All right. We do overtime. Okay. We do overtime. I just want to make sure this statement is clear. We do overtime and we out of here. Peace.
Oh, wrong one.
Excellent.
It's still going.